Hi there, my name's Jeff Fain. I'm with Friends and Fins. We're diving in Bonaire this week. It's been a fun week and we've had a lot of fun. We're getting ready to turn our gear in, but we just wanted to show you how we set up to get in the water. I don't have anybody to show me here right now. Tara's behind the camera there, so I'm going to show you how I would do it by myself, but there'll be several steps in this process where you could have a buddy hold your tank for you. It's just remember, it's very important while you're setting up on the tailgate on the beach. Sometimes the car is not sitting on an even surface and you need somebody to have a hand on the tank and your gear at all times. You don't want your kit to roll off into the rocks. It's iron shore here in Bonaire, so you're going to want big booties, but there's a lot of uneven surfaces and you want to make sure your gear stays planted on the tailgate so that no broken toes, no broken feet, and no broken gear. So let me show you how I do it by myself, and I'll just tell you where I would have a buddy step in throughout the process to help me if we were helping each other gear up and do buddy check. So these tanks are used, so you can see that the top is off. Normally, right, the top is going to be secured on there. You're going to check your pressure before you get your tanks. We like Dive Friends Bonaire for our tanks, but VIP diving here on the island is very good as well. So first thing you do is get your tank out, right? Make sure you always have a hand on the tank. And then you're going to get your BCD, right? And you're going to route it down on top of the tank. Now, if you had a buddy at this point, you'd have them hold the tank while you got all this stuff set up. But right now I've climbed up in the back of the truck so that I can have everything at foot level with me so that I can turn and grab anything out of my bucket that I need to set up my gear and turn and keep a hand on the tank. So I'm just gonna, as per usual, wrap my gear down on the tank, make sure and keep a good grip with one hand. Don't forget your safety strap on there, get it situated the way I want. And I have two straps. So I'm gonna do the top first. Make sure I've got the height set the way I like it. And then go ahead and get the bottom clipped in. Once I'm sure that's all good, I keep one hand on my valve right here. Turn around, pull my regulator out of my bucket. Make sure I've got it oriented the way I want. My second stage is over my right shoulder. Remember, just keep a hand close to that valve at all times in case the tank starts to try to roll or pitch. Now, normally you're going to have weights in your BCD, so it is going to be a little bit more weight forward. Even more important to keep that tank within grasp at all times. Again, if you have a buddy, you can stay down on the ground, but I find it's always nice to have one person in the back of the truck and then one person below, and make sure you communicate with your buddy about who's got the tank if you have to step away. So then once I've got my regulator on, I go ahead and kind of put my knees around the tank like this, and then get everything clipped in that I want to clip in. So I'll go ahead and secure my octo. And keep in mind, I've got the tank between my knees right now, so nothing's gonna roll out on me, right? Go ahead and get my low pressure inflator dialed in, stowed where I want it. Normally I'd already have my weights in, right, and zipped up. That's for kind of how to tank wrangle. So then once I've got everything the way I want it, now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna slowly and carefully step out of the back of the tailgate. But notice I've always got a hand on the tank. Now I can get in front of my gear and control it, get it opened up. Make sure my shoulder straps are all the way open so that I have an easy time, and I just roll on into it, sit down. And I always like the chicken wing method, but everybody always tries to kind of do one of these, which is awkward because your elbow's stuck in there. I just lift this strap up, put an elbow through, and kind of wiggle it around, and then I find that's easiest. Now, some people like to do their belt straps first. I tend to like to get my shoulders kind of where I want them, and then lean forward. And now I can kind of get a good, nice, tight wrap around my belly band, my cummerbund, my clip. Don't forget your chest strap. All right. Now make sure your primary is over your right shoulder. Inflator hose is secured. I like to clip my gauge off, especially on Bonaire. They're very sensitive about their reef here. So you want to make sure that you have all of your gauges and hoses well well streamlined, well secured. We don't want anything dragging the reef or damaging any of the coral. So I tend to put my pressure gauge, once I get kind of up and ready, way up here under my shoulder. And that way, you know, there's nothing hanging around to drag on the reef. I also like this here because I can just, when I'm diving, I just look down and rotate that, and it's right where I know it is. It's handy. Now, downsides to this, you might, in a situation where somebody has to get your gear off for you, this may not be the best. So if you don't like this setup, I understand. If you had to get somebody out of their gear, right, and unclip this strap, well, now you've got something under your arm. So I think I'll leave it up to your judgment. But the other place I like to keep this gauge is down low on this D-ring here, and you can see it's still not dragging, so we're good. Streamline, and then getting out of your gear, reverse process pretty much. Just when you're out, come sit down, make sure your tank's on a nice level part of the tailgate, not too far back in that crease between the tailgate and the bed. Unclip everything. It's always easiest if you expand the shoulder straps as wide as you can. Makes it easy to kind of just slip an arm out, and then just keep one hand on the BCD as you come up and roll around, and then a hand back on the top of the tank. Now again, you're probably not alone. You probably have a buddy, so you can get a buddy to come help you, but I like to keep a hand on the tank in exactly the reverse order. Step up back into the tailgate, and now I can do my knee hold method on the tank, disassemble everything, get everything put back in the bucket the way I like it, take the BCD off, put it back in the bucket, get the tank stowed. And once the tank's down and the gear is in the bucket, you're good to go, no danger at that point. So yeah, happy diving, and we had fun in Bonaire. Hope you do too.